So, folks, welcome back to the Run Local podcast. It is a very special edition. I don't put on a tuxedo for just any guest, much less an orange tuxedo today. But you may be wondering, well, why? Why the extra garb? Well, our very special guest today is one of the most famous voices across the Bay Area and across the country. So it is my absolute pleasure to welcome Renel Brooks Moon. Congratulations on your very new accomplishment of being featured as the ambassador for the Giants Race 2020. Thanks for making time for us.
Thank you, Josh, for having me. You look tremendous, and I feel so overdressed. I do have an orange evening gown. I could do a quick change if necessary.
We can do that for the outtakes, no problem. Absolutely, yeah. That would be great. Now, normally when we get started, if folks are just tuning in for the podcast today, one of the things that we like to do is to kick things off and ground individuals with an opportunity to understand who the guest is within their own words. So I'm going to turn it over to you. If folks haven't met you or haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, which is a shame. But how might you introduce yourselves to the large audience that's listening or watching this video?
Well, I am a Bay Area native, born in Oakland. I'm a graduate of Woodside High School in Redwood City.
Right down the road from me.
There we go. I'm a proud Wildcat,
Yep.
graduate of Mills College. I am a veteran broadcaster here in the Bay Area. Before I got hired by the Giants 20 years ago, my 20th season I'm celebrating, by the way.
Wow.
Lengthy radio career here on KFRC and then 106 KMEL and then 98.1 KISS FM, and very honored to be the voice of Oracle Park, the PA announcer for the team that I grew up rooting for as a little girl at Candlestick Park.
Wow. And that is certainly something special. I know that there's been literally millions of people that have heard your voice come over the PA system and welcome both fans and players, spectators, all walks of life come in there. And now you've had the wonderful opportunity to expand that a little bit more and reach out. And I'm not talking about just the podcast here, but actually reach out and welcome in a brand new, like activity set to the ballpark, which is as an ambassador for the 2020 Giants race. How did that all come about? And first of all, congratulations on that. That's fantastic. But tell us a little bit about how you got involved with the Giants race.
Thank you, Josh. Yeah, I was super honored and quite frankly very surprised when I got the call. I'm the first lady ambassador.
Yeah.
Hello. So very honored about that. But I worked very closely with Giants Enterprises throughout the years. In addition to my duties as PA announcer, I also host a lot of events that we hold at the ballpark. I'm also community ambassador, do a lot of community work on behalf of the Giants. So it all just kind of came together in this beautiful little, lovely package with a lovely bow on it. It just kind of made sense. Also, the guys at Giants Enterprises know that I'm a fitness enthusiast. At least I was pre-COVID. Let me just say that, because
Yeah.
the workouts have not been the same. Let me just say that. So they invited me to be the ambassador this year, and I was thrilled and honored, particularly, as I mentioned, because what we're all going through right now, a lot of us are so challenged with trying to work fitness into our lives, and also our mental well-being is important to me as well. So I was thrilled when they offered me the chance to do this, and I'm really honored to serve. And my message is just for everybody to just get out there and get moving any way you can. And at the same time, I'm able to help out one of my favorite charities, the Bayview YMCA. See, again, with the fitness, you see what I'm doing here, Josh?
Yeah. You got a big old theme going on here.
Yeah, I'm all about the themes. Yeah. So 20 years at the ballpark, I never saw this coming. And it's crazy that this is my second bobblehead, Josh. The first one was in 2008 for African American Heritage Night. So this is the gift that keeps on giving, this wonderful job I've been blessed to have.
Really, yeah. Every 10 years or so, they just throw in a bobblehead and they've got you locked in, right? It's like it's almost written into the contract at this point.
It is. It
So
is.
that's I mean that is fantastic. I have had a chance to see a few of the Instagram videos that the Giant Races has put out, and you brought up two really interesting things that I'm very curious to get your perspective of. One, it's this idea of just of movement and how important that is for our physical well-being, but also this idea where folks are sometimes looking for a way to balance both the physical and the mental side of well-being. And you and the Giant Race have done a really good job of bringing those two elements to the front. And I wanted just curious, like, how have you been able to continue to move? I know that things are a little bit restricted, and then also balance a little bit of kind of maintaining your enthusiasm for movement and in the mental health space.
Yeah, it's been really challenging for me, like so many of us. I miss my gym. That was such a part of my daily routine. I mean, the first thing I would do is get up, I do my mindfulness, meditate, write in my gratitude journal, and then hit the
Yep.
gym for a couple of hours. And then I am ready to seize the day. It's just been such a part of my lifestyle for the last maybe 10, 15 years now. And then when it was stripped away from me, I really was kind of lost. And I've
Yeah.
experimented with some things at home. We have a treadmill and weights here at home, and different apps I was trying, but it's just been really challenging. I got out and did some running, and then my body reminded me that I'm not in my 40s or my 50s anymore. So you really slow your roll there, little girl. Work to so it's been challenging, and also so and parents that are trying to work and distance learning, and keeping the kids active during the summer, and people that are out of work. I mean, we're all facing so many challenges now. For me, I have a 94-year-old mother. A lot of us are looking after our
Yep.
aging parents, and a lot of us are just missing that connection with our friends and family. I mean, all of us are. I haven't seen my nieces and nephews for months, and they feed my soul. We're all missing our family. So for me this year, it's interesting that I'm the ambassador this year, because for me, it's more about the mental aspect of physical fitness, because we're all so challenged. Even Michelle Obama just said that she had a low grade depression, and I think
Yep.
she speaks for a lot of us. So another thing too, Josh, is that baseball, every player I've interviewed, almost all of them has said that the game is more mentally challenging than it is physically challenging. I mean, the grind of the 162 game season, pre-COVID, obviously,
Right.
and that it's a game of failures. Baseball is
Yep.
truly a game of failure. So for them to be mentally strong, they always tell me, is more important than the physicality of it. And that's one of the things I'm excited about that we're doing, is I'm going to be able to have a conversation with our mental skills coach. um, who knew, right?
Right.
Who knew there
Right.
was a
Right. Right.
coach? I'm not sure every team in the league has one, but I know that we do. So I'm interested to talk to him about it and see what the ways that he helps the guys stay mentally fit. So although I want you to get out and keep moving, because that also helps clear out your mind as well, but my focus is really to also take care of your mental well-being and your emotional state during this unprecedented time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think what I'm hearing you say is a little bit like, hey, it's okay, to not feel great all the time. It's okay to, look at a workout and say, like, I don't really feel like doing as much as I had intended today, and adjust. And it's just like we're doing in everyday life, is adjusting a little bit, just like the ball players adjust on a day-to-day basis. One of the really great things that I've found through running is it very similarly to baseball, is it is a lot of times around setting those personal expectations on what it is you can accomplish in the moment, whether that's in that mile, whether that's through the duration of the race, whether it's the build up, but it's focusing on those things you can control and recognizing the things that might not be in your control as well. And as folks all enter into the start line, I think one of the beauties of it was is just seeing how everyone gets to a start line in a completely different way. Like there's no same way that everybody got to that start line. Yet they get to share that community and they share that finish line together and that sense of accomplishment. And when we're reflecting on that, I'm curious about how you've managed to engage with the community who's so used to hearing you and feeling your presence and looking to you as sort of an enabler of that same similar communal experience. What's that been like, and how have you been able to engage with your fans?
Well, social media has been a huge, tool for me, and that, and I'm old school. I'm not a big fan of social
Yeah,
media. In a lot of ways, it can be a blessing and a curse. But since I've gotten more active on Instagram in particular, and these are, my followers are, people that have grown up listening to me on the radio, or know me from the Giants. So we already have this kind of familiarity and connection,
yeah.
and all of our interactions have been so inspiring and so uplifting and so positive. So I've been able to use that as a tool, and I've also been doing a lot of virtual events. I have
Oh,
two
cool.
events I'm doing next month for the Girl Scouts and for the Equal Justice Society. So I've been very busy doing, virtual town halls and panels and hosting various events. So it's been interesting because it's a new way to work. I'm doing
Yeah,
all of this from my dining room as opposed to on a stage or in a studio. But it took a while to kind of find that rhythm, and then the requests started coming in, and then I started figuring out ways that I could engage more. So these last couple of months have been really, really busy with a lot of those kind of activities that are, I mean, they fill me up too. It's really fulfilling for me because I miss being able to be out there and see the people and touch the people and hug the
right.
kids and hug the little girls that come and sign the caps and gloves of the little boys and girls that come to the ballpark. I miss that interaction so much. So been able to, as we all have been adjusting, to find ways to do it virtually and through social.
Well, I think it's fantastic, and for me personally, you've for the last 10 years basically, you've opened up your office to me to come in and help announce the finishers for the giant race, and I really appreciate that, and I mean, obviously I'm not doing it justice compared to the wonderful work that you do, but it's always been thrilling to think about like how many people your voice and your presence and your positivity brings. And I, personally, I just want to thank you for all the work that you've done. But I also want to, yeah, I also want to talk specifically about the charity partner for this year with the Giants race, because I know that although you touch a lot of people in a lot of different ways, there's a special group down there in Bayview Hunters Point that you're connected to. Can you tell me a little bit about the charity partner for this year's race?
Yes, absolutely. And I was super excited to select the Bayview Hunters Point YMCA as my charity. Especially since they're in our neighborhood, they're right down the street from the ballpark.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've actually been connected with them through my radio career and my activism. So I go way back with the Bayview Hunters Point YMCA. So when I was given the opportunity to select a charity, I was like, well, kids has always been my focus. Young people and kids have always been my focus. But the YMCA also does amazing things for adult folks and for seniors. And they're doing incredible work here again virtually in the midst of this pandemic. And I really wanted to shine a light on what they're doing and what they're providing on terms like food pantry and social hours for seniors and arts and crafts for kids and exercise classes for everybody. And also my focus as a community activist has always been for at-risk youth or underprivileged communities. And as you and I both know, Josh, it's very challenging in these communities to eat healthy and to find ways to exercise and be fit and stay fit. And the Bayview Hunters Point YMCA does an amazing, amazing job for these kids. And I watched them grow and get strong and confident and go out into the world and and make a difference. The other thing, it's full circle for me because when I first started my weight training was before I got hired by the Giants. My husband and I lived in Hercules, and I was a member of the Hilltop YMCA and worked out with a great trainer then, and just completely transformed my body, my mind, my spirit, and my soul. I mean, because I had been, prior to that, Josh, I was a jazzerciser. That's how old I am. Okay, jazz
Yep.
hands.
Yep. Yep. No, I got you. I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about. Yeah. Did you have the
no, and
block you would
aerobic,
step up on?
the step aerobics and all of that. Yes, but then when I started working with the trainer, and that's when I first started running with Eric back then, and then just the weightlifting, the empowerment that it gave me, physically and mentally, and I just totally became addicted to it. So the YMCA in general is near and dear to my heart based on my history. And then for these kids that I love so much in the community right down the street from the ballpark, and then I know Chuck Collins, who's the president of the YMCA.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
just it's a no brainer for me as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, Chuck's a great guy. Back when I was living in the city, did some work with him years ago. So definitely, that's a great connection. I know that
Yeah.
there's a lot of folks that are probably going to hear this and think like, oh, you know what? That's a really good reminder that maybe I want to be involved or maybe I want to contribute. And I just want to remind folks that one good way to do that, you can donate via giantrace.com. And then if you still haven't signed up for the race, there's still some spots that are available for finisher medals, the performance T-shirt, and then one other thing that I'm definitely not going to let you get out of here without talking about is the bobblehead. Now the bobblehead, it doesn't have the Lucille neck gaiter, but if you register for Giant Race, they'll throw in the neck gaiter. But
Right.
I'm very curious, and I haven't had the luxury of sitting for a bobblehead fitting, perhaps. I don't know how it works, much less two. So folks want to know, like, what is the process that you go through to become a bobblehead?
Oh my gosh, it is a trip. First of all, first of all, the guys that are from Giants Enterprises that are working on it with the manufacturer, they sent me a picture of the previous bobblehead and said, "What? How do you want her changed for 2020?" And so I sent them a bunch of different pictures of the new hairstyle, the glasses,
Right?
the workout outfit I wanted to be in. And then, I mean, this was like 3 weeks on the daily. They were sending me updates and changes and the prototype and to just watch her, grow to what she looks like now. It's phenomenal, but it is an intense process, and I appreciate their attention to detail so much. I mean, they wouldn't move forward unless I gave the approval. They're like, we want to get this right. We don't want
Wow.
any. Yeah, it was everything. Everything went to me for my approval, and
Wow.
it was yeah, it's bananas. It's crazy, and just to see the prototype that it originally is, and then and all the processes that it goes through to what it becomes now. And like I see her before she gets painted. I see her before the hair is finished. I mean,
Oh, wow.
it's really intricate and detailed, the whole process. It's fascinating.
Wow, wow, wow. So you don't have to sit for like some sort of marble sculpture and they said like, look, let's get this big sculpture right. I mean, obviously it's a precursor for the statue that's probably going to be put somewhere around the city for you. I get it. But that is a pretty interesting process. Now,
Yeah,
I
it's a
you know I know that folks are going to be watching this if they do, and I've got one other question for you that you've been subtly flaunting about here. And we chatted about this a little bit earlier before we went live. But could you explain a little bit, but what maybe your outfit, something on the digits today? What year do you have?
this right here.
Oh, that old thing, that little thing? Yeah.
That's that's 2014.
Okay,
Uh,
okay. And why'd you choose
the
that one this today?
Because it's the biggest and the blingiest. Out of the and by the way, it's still surreal that I say out of the three that I have. I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. What is
Right, right,
that?
right. No, no, but sometimes it's okay, to sit and say like you work hard, right? The team worked hard, everybody worked hard, the staff, front office, and it's fun, and all the fans see that, and they look back and they go like, yeah, 2014 was was a great year of the three championships. It was fun. It's fun to be in the city, and honestly, when you think about it, that was something that kicked off so much of the giant race. Like folks wanted to be a part of that and really had a sense of community. They feel like, yeah, I love the orange. I love the Giants. I love being a part of that, and it is super fun. So maybe the final question is connecting all of that back as folks are reflecting on the event, the giant race this year, and in terms of the season. Give us a little bit about maybe something that you're very excited about with the race and kind of the what's coming up in the race, and give me a little bit about what you're excited about with the season as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm super excited about the race and really honored to be the ambassador, and it just encourage everybody again to just keep just move in any way you can. I mean, if you run that marathon, that's totally awesome. More power to you. But if you want to just walk it out with a group of friends, you know, 6 feet apart, of course, socially distanced, okay,
Right?
right? And you can do it wherever you want to in your neighborhood, whatever park you want to, and like you said, the sense of community. It's unfortunate that we can't all be on the field at the ballpark, for the finish line, but this is still a way for us to stay connected as Giants fans and as a community, because this fan base is so unique, Josh,
Yeah.
because unlike other teams, I mean, this is generational. All of us that are Giants fans, we got it from mom and dad and grandma and grandpa and our great grandparents. And that's not true of, other teams around the league. I mean, after that first championship in 2010, I'll never forget that parade where people were holding signs. This is for my dad. This is for my
Yeah.
grandpa, and or babies on shoulders that have no idea what's happening and that they're
Right.
witnessing history. But it's so generational, and we really do. We've always said together we are giant, and every game experience there, is such a communal thing. And this is another way for us who love this team so much, who have many of us have grown up rooting for this team. Some people are transplants from other cities and they've now fallen in love with the team. But this is we can't all be together at the ballpark for a game or even for race day, but this is something we can all do together as Giants fans that will still connect us.
Yeah, and I think you're spot on. One of the things I actually think is cool about some of the virtual events is, look, if you sign up, you're gonna get the finisher's medal. That's great. You got this performance shirt. You got a little bit of orange. You got the neck gaiter. You got the bobblehead. But when you go out and you wear the orange, right, and orange tuxedos included, folks have an association, and all of a sudden they see you out there running. They're like, yeah, all right, yeah, go Giants, which is
Yes.
super cool. So you don't have to have 20,000 people on the street to get that and be a piece of that community wherever you are. So imagine if you were to fly in for the race and that's not possible this year, run it locally, spread the love, spread the giant love all over wherever you are. Wear those colors proudly. And I think we have a really good opportunity to highlight both, the wonder of the race, a lot of the messages that you're talking about, and of course, those beautiful ball players out there in the orange and black. So I think that's a wonderful way to extend that to the community.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so Renel, I know that we're coming up, and you've got a lot of things on your plate, and I just wanted to thank you so much for spending the time with us today to chat about your involvement with the race, and to share a little bit of the bobblehead backstory and your passion for the community, with the Bayview Hunters Point YMCA. And I also want to say that folks, this is one race. We've got a number of different events. If you are part of the Bay Area um, run local community, the California Coast 500 is coming to an end. So make sure you upload all those miles at runlocalevents.com/California. Of course, you get a bug from the giant race and you want to continue some of these virtual events, the Silicon Valley Half Marathon, 10K, Food Truck 5K presented by Excite Credit Union is still open for registration. You can find those at runlocalevents.com as well. A lot of cool stuff that's happening on the site, so go ahead and check that out. if that is still something that now you've got a little bit of bug, you got a little bit of interest, and you say like, this running thing's great, I want to keep it rolling. Wonderful opportunities all across the bay virtually, of course. So thank you again. Any final words before you send you out? I didn't even get a chance to ask you what your walk-up music would be if you came to the starting line of the race. Oh my goodness, I was so excited about that.
Well, the answer to that is I'm every woman.
Oh my goodness.
I'm every woman. It's all in me.
There we go, folks. There we go. We're sending you out with a bang. So thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Giant fans, get out there, get some miles in, get training. We're gonna see you virtually, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Josh. I enjoyed this so much, and the tuxedo is just mwah,
We'll
perfection.
get you. Oh well, thank you. We're gonna get you. I'll be in the tux. You get in the evening gown. We're gonna have ourselves a night when all this comes back together. This is gonna be a fantastic 2021. I'm already looking forward to it.
Oh, you and me both. You and me both. Thank you, Josh. Thank you. Stay
Take,
well. Everybody
you
stay
too.
safe. Stay well.
All right, take care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.